Good morning, class. Today we're going to be working on a two-point perspective drawing. Just like any linear perspective drawing, we're going to start out with our horizon line, but instead of having our vanishing point in the middle, which we have been doing, we're going to move over and have our vanishing point one on each end or towards the end of the horizon line. I'm going to start out with a nice vertical line that crosses that horizon line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this be the corner of my building. And I'm going to take my ruler, line up the bottom of the corner to my vanishing point, and the top of the corner to the vanishing point. This is going to create the right side of my building. I'm going to do the same thing for the left side, going to the bottom corner and my left vanishing point, and my top corner and the left vanishing point. It's going to create our nice clean building that's going into the distance. Now, just like with single point perspective, we need to end this building. So we're going to draw a vertical line on the right and a vertical line on the left. This is going to end our building. You can now see the shape. Next, I'm going to take my eraser and erase out those lines that I no longer need. Just like in single point perspective or any kind of linear perspective, you're going to be erasing out a lot of guidelines. Remember, I am drawing dark so that it's easy to see on the camera. It's best if you draw nice and light. It makes it a whole lot easier for you to erase, and it's going to take a lot less time than what I'm having to do here. Remember, in linear perspective, neatness does count, so try to keep your lines nice and neat. Try to keep that paper neat, and erase as fully as you can. Now, once I have my guidelines out of here, and I'm happy with how they have been erased, then I'm going to start taking a look at what do I want this building to be. And I'm really thinking that I want to turn this into like a garage or an auto repair shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out drawing a guideline for the top of some garage doors on this right hand side, and it's going to go to the right vanishing point. Now, just like with single point perspective, anything that goes into the distance needs to go to that vanishing point, and all vertical lines stay vertical. So I'm going to draw the edges of my garage door here. You can notice I'm using my ruler, keeping it nice and straight. I'm going to have two garage doors, so I'm going to create a little space here. Then I'm going to work on the second garage door. Remember, as the garage doors go back, they get slightly smaller. Anything that's in the distance is going to be smaller than something close to us. Now, to make those little folding lines on our garage door, once again, we line up the ruler with the vanishing point and draw in our folding lines or the bend lines in the garage door. That's what allows it to go up and down. Once I'm happy with my lines, I'm going to take my eraser and again erase out those guidelines because I no longer need them. Now that I'm done with my garage doors, I'm going to add a little sign here. Something so that the people driving by on the freeway or on the road here are aware of what this place is. So I'm going to use again my vanishing point to draw the top and bottom of this sign. I'm going to have nice vertical lines for the edges. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in here something real simple. I'm going to write repair shop. That way anyone driving down the road is going to be able to see this and say, all right, here's where I need to get my car fixed or whatever. Notice again, as I'm doing this, the letters get smaller as they head back. So the smaller the letters are, the farther away they're going to get. I'm going to take my eraser one more time and erase out those guidelines, just to keep it a little bit cleaner. Again, word of advice, draw nice and light. It's a whole lot easier to erase lighter than it is darker. Okay, everybody, now I'm going to address this left side of the building. I want a door for my customers to come in, so I'm going to use a line going to that left vanishing point for the top of my door. And I'm going to use some nice straight vertical lines to create that door. And I'm going to use the same line for the top of the door, and I'm going to draw one more line for the bottom of some windows. Remember, I'm going to keep my vertical lines nice, straight, and vertical. It's going to help to keep that illusion going. If you have some lines that are a little bit on the crooked side, it makes it feel like the building is leaning or that those windows are a weird shape. You really want to keep it nice and vertical. Also remember, as you get further back, as you get closer to that vanishing point, it's very important that your windows get smaller. Anything that's further in the distance is much smaller than something that's close to us. Now, I am going to touch these windows up. You can do this freehand once you have those guidelines in there, as long as you're comfortable drawing nice, clean, straight lines. I like to do it. I think it just makes the windows stand out a little bit more after I've erased them. Helps you to really see where those windows are at. Now, because this is a two-story building, I want to create some office space windows up on top. So just like with the windows down below, I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to line it up with the left vanishing point. I'm going to draw the bottom line for my windows. Now I'm going to draw the top again, going to that left vanishing point. And using my ruler, I'm going to create some nice vertical lines to create the edges of those windows. Once I have my windows in place, just like before, I'm going to erase out those guidelines, and I'm going to put in a little bit of outlining just to really make them stand out. And here we go. We have a very nice, simple two-point perspective building. Just going to clean it up here a little bit more. And I think we're going to start by adding a road now. Again, using that right vanishing point, so it's getting wider as it comes towards us. We create the illusion of a road. Next, we're going to draw the way to get into these garages. Now, this is a little bit of a trick. You have to draw it because they're coming out from that left vanishing point. You have to draw it from the left vanishing point. If you try to draw it any other way, it's going to look strange. So think of it as kind of that river or another road coming out of the other vanishing point. This is going to come into play when you do sidewalks, when you do roads, when you do fences, any number of other things. So it's really important to start to think about where those lines are going. Are they going to the right vanishing point or are they going to the left? And you can see here I'm going to do another sidewalk. I'm going to use that right vanishing point this time for the part coming out of the door. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to use the left vanishing point for the part that's going to the street. I'm also going to use that left vanishing point for the parts that are going across the sidewalk for part of it. I'm going to use the right vanishing point for lines that are coming that way. Now I'm just going to do some quick cleanup things, add some lines down the road, make sure that my horizon line is nice and clean. And then we're going to do a second building. Okay, I'm going to start with a vertical line again for our second building, and the left side of the building going to the left, vanishing point. I'm going to create a vertical line again to end that wall, and then I'm going to use the right vanishing point to go to the right side of the building. Notice how my two buildings, the larger building is overlapping the second, so we can only see part of it. Again, that helps to create that illusion of depth, helps to create some atmospheric perspective in there as well. Now that I have my second building in here, I'm going to add in a door and window, just like we did with the first building, using my left vanishing point for the left side of the building. Again, drawing the tops and bottoms of windows and doors and nice vertical lines to show where they end. Once I've got them in place, I'm going to erase them out exactly the way that I want. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to use my ruler to draw a second sidewalk so we have it coming out from the street, or out to the street. Notice again where my ruler is using the left vanishing point. If it's a line going to the right, it uses the left vanishing point. If it's a line going to the left side of the page, a lot of times it uses the right vanishing point. This is something that's going to take you a little bit to get used to. It's not an easy thing. You really have to start thinking about where are those lines going. If it doesn't look right, gotta kind of see where did I make that mistake. Okay, everybody, we're going to do some final touch-ups. Make sure that horizon line is there. Do any last erasing marks. Remember, practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the easier it gets.